So the Young Playwrights Festival is Syracuse Stage's 10-minute playwriting festival and performance piece festival for high school students. So 9 to 12 grades, and as long as you can physically drive here on a Saturday morning for a festival event, we are game on to have you. So we've had people write from as far away as North Country, as far away as Brooklyn. In fact, I don't think that they actually drove here, but we've had submissions. So the Young Playwrights Festival, this is its 21st year that we've been doing it. This year was our largest Young Playwrights Festival to date. We had 365 plays submitted, which is remarkable and fantastic. So to get from that to our 8 finalists, it's a big process. So we had about 10 readers, all from across Syracuse Stage, working in different elements, everyone really passionate about plays and playwriting and all of that. Those plays that these 10 people selected became our quarterfinalists, and that was about 60 plays from there. And then these quarterfinalist plays are read by our panel of professionals. From there, we select our top 16. And it's really interesting because we don't just have plays, we don't just have 10-minute plays, we have performance pieces as well. And some of the performance pieces are absolutely brilliant in the way that they craft these words. There was one from several years ago that I still think about that used paper airplanes as a metaphor for thoughts with a grandmother with dementia, where these paper airplanes were just flying around her head all the time. It's gorgeous. And then we have ones where sometimes there ends up being kind of a default theme for the year. We really click into the collective consciousness of high school students through this without even meaning to. So some years we had kind of an absurdist theme, where it's just all these plays were absolutely bonko. But it was brilliant because all of them were similarly bonko from, down towards Ithaca all the way up north. And then some years we have kind of demons as a theme. It's really interesting to see what media people have been consuming and how it shows up in their writing. Like last year we had a lot of Black Mirror kind of esque plays. So it's fun. Each of us as individuals selected our top 16, and then it was a little bit of a battle royale to vote for your favorite plays out of here. And those 16 are considered the semifinalists. And those plays and playwrights are invited to Syracuse Stage for a workshop. So their plays read aloud by SU drama students, which is fantastic. We get kind of that relationship with Syracuse Stage and SU drama, to a panel of playwrights, where these playwrights and professionals critique the plays, let students know what is working, what maybe they could tighten up. Then these playwrights have the opportunity to rewrite their plays. So take those edits and those suggestions and tweak their plays to make them better, to revise them, all of that. From those revised plays, we then choose our 8 finalists. And those 8 finalist plays are the ones that will be performed on stage at Syracuse Stage on May 7th at the official Young Playwrights Festival. And that event's fantastic. They're performed on stage by SU actors, they're directed. It's kind of a staged reading bit of it, but it is really fantastic to be able to see all this brand new work on stage, all of these new fantastic ideas and new ways of telling stories that these high school students are coming up with. And we have a reception afterwards, and every single person who wrote a play receives a t-shirt and is invited to the festival. So at a certain time of year, you can see all these people running around with the same shirts, and it's really an awesome experience.
I started with the Young Playwrights Festival over a decade ago. I had just a quick class assignment. I asked the kids to write a short play. I think I had them write maybe a part of a play just for a quick homework. And then I gave them the opportunity to finish the play and send it to the competition. And a few kids took me up on it, and then one of them was a winner. So that was kind of nice incentives. So the next year it became bigger and bigger, and then some more faculty got involved. So now we have 3 or 4 classes every year where every student submits to the Playwrights Festival, and we've had a lot of success. And even if the students don't get their plays on the stage here, they found other places where they've gotten recognition for the same plays. They've won things with the Scholastic Writing Awards. They've published their plays elsewhere. They've performed their plays. So without the Young Playwrights Festival, most of those things probably wouldn't be happening. So I think that's probably the best thing about it, is to inspire kids to do even more as writers.
I was introduced to the Playwright Festival, I think 4 years ago. And by a former teacher who retired from our district, and he just happened to say, oh, you teach creative writing? I used to do this thing, you should check it out. And within a week, I had shown it to my kids. We had about a month left of school. And it's just such a human piece of art because it's real time, it's authentic. And to see where the kids go and what they find to be a deeply human moment. So you're getting to learn about your kids, and you're kind of getting a pulse on how this generation sees the world and what they think matters, but also the quirks of what it means to be a human being. And it's just, they have so much fun, they're so proud, and they love seeing it go to a judge, a real audience, to look at it, and then potentially performed.
I think 5 or 6 years, I'm not exactly sure. The first year that I did it, I was teaching 11th grade honors, and I had a bunch of students that were really into writing, so it was kind of a fun experience for them. In more recent years, I actually teach CTD or resource classes, and one of the things that I love so much about the Young Playwrights Festival is it allows kids that are normally not part of like the bigger writing community to really get that opportunity, and sometimes it's kids that we wouldn't necessarily think would really buy into it. They get the most excited about it. It's been very accessible for all of my students. One of my kids that's currently a senior this year, one is a 10th grader, and it's such a fun memory, I know, for me and for him. We've actually kept in touch through the last couple of years, and he's still writing, and he's actually, I think, pursuing college for writing the storylines of video games. Wow. Yeah, it's really neat.
I'd say that every year I have 2 or 3 kids actually who do not see themselves as writers. They do it begrudgingly as a class assignment, and then they send it in and they become semifinalists, and suddenly they realize that, hey, maybe I do have some talent, maybe I can write, and a number of those students end up being finalists as well. And then they see themselves completely differently as a result of that. Some of them continue with writing and some continue with those other interests, but they always know that they were able to do that and they were successful at that.
I had my first year doing it, I had a young lady take on being transgender. And I didn't know at the time she was going through questions with her own identity, with her gender. And one of, not the rules, but one of the cautions was don't take on a grand topic in 10 minutes, because how much can you really cover it? And she did such a phenomenal job. She did it. And not only did she do this piece, and she found an avenue to discuss something she was struggling so much, she then retook the class the next year, and it became a genre concept to her. It was almost like Salinger. And she had a short story with these people. She had poetry from the perspectives of these people. She created journals from one character and then from another character. And it was just really powerful to see almost this portfolio evolve of these characters that she came up with that gave a voice to what she was going through.